Welcome back to another, I would say exciting, but Jennifer and I are getting over the flu, so a sick and slightly pathetic episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting, a podcast where me, Jason,
and me, Jennifer,
have a few drinks
and talk shit about our kids.
Please follow us on Instagram at Guide to Poor Parenting and Twitter/X, Facebook at Poor Parent Pod. Miss Jennifer, let's go take a nap. Grandpa tired. How's your week been?
Well, it was okay. Your husband gave me the flu at your Christmas party. So
he gave
Merry Christmas to
three people the flu.
Yep. But yeah, so just, tired and body aches and lots of coughing and snotting everywhere. So good times.
Yeah, Zane and I have a Christmas party every year where we do a dirty Santa, if we have any of our 11 listeners that don't live in the South, they also call it a white elephant. I think, what else do they call it? I think there's another term for it.
I have no idea.
But it's like you get, everybody puts a mysterious gift under the Christmas tree, mm-hmm. and then you randomize people based on their, give them a random number, mm-hmm. and then they can either go under the tree or steal.
Yep.
So it's a lot of fun, but we've done it for many years now, and used to be we would just do whatever, and sometimes the gifts would just be like, oh, here's a pair of work gloves or something stupid.
Yeah, and then we did alcohol and sex toys, and the sex toys were
Spencer's gifts kind of crap.
Yeah, it was plastic cuffs and something. But I will say the lube was getting stole like crazy that Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we just switched it over to booze and an occasional THC. Although that was a surprise last year.
That was a surprise.
I mean, that was the hot one to get.
Oh, yeah.
But we had that last weekend, and I guess Zane caught the flu and didn't realize it. Mm-hmm. And so on Sunday, he was just like, I don't feel good. And he went to the doctor and got tested for flu. And he tested positive. And I don't know if he ever had a fever, but he felt like shit. And then Monday, I was like, I don't feel good. And I was like, I have a low fever, but I don't have like body aches or chills or anything like that. And you started feeling shitty on Monday too.
Sunday.
Was it Sunday? I thought it was Monday.
No, it was Sunday.
Okay.
And so Monday, I had an appointment in the afternoon. So I usually go home for lunch to let the dogs out. And I just ran by the doctor's real quick. I had made an appointment for like 1:10. Ran over there real quick, and there he's like, COVID and flu tests, and you got the flu. So he told me to stay home on Wednesday. And so I just laid in bed all day. It wasn't fun, but whatever. And then I went back to work on Thursday.
At least you didn't have your son around.
It's true. I got my ass out of bed in my PJs and drove his ass to school.
Yep. Yeah, all week I pretty much was taking Kalia to school. Well, I think I may have started feeling bad on Sunday too, but it was just a low fever. And I didn't really, I never got a high fever until, I think it was until Wednesday or Tuesday. I don't know. Middle of the week, I was like, I started getting body chills and like a temperature over 102. So I'm like, I'm going to go to the doctor. But they said they tested me negative for flu and negative for COVID. They never called me with my COVID results. So, but I'm pretty sure it was flu just because you, Zane, and EJ all had it.
Yep.
And I'm just now getting over it. So it's been a week. And I'm like, my fever's finally gone, but I just feel like I've got a tap turn on in my nostrils, and my, like me and Zane are always like running to the bathroom because we're about to shit our pants. And
good times.
Yeah. You never even had a fever though, which is amazing.
No, I usually don't get fevers.
Even with the flu?
I don't think I've ever had the flu.
Oh my God.
But with COVID, I didn't have fevers. I was like, I could go anywhere because, in the beginning of COVID, everyone was like, take your temperature. Yeah. I'm like, go ahead. Even if I had COVID, my temperature never went up. So I could have given it to so many people.
That's how they ended up killing a lot of people in nursing homes, because a lot of people had the disease but didn't have a fever, so they weren't getting treated.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I don't know.
Yep. So I was off on Wednesday, and then Thursday I go back to work. I feel like shit. Don't really want to be there, but it's a busy time. And I knew my coworker was kind of going to be overwhelmed. So I went to work, and I got told that day that I didn't get the job that I had applied for. So that was really sad too. So, on top of being sick, I didn't get the job I wanted.
But when she was telling me, it sounded like you were in the top 2.
Yeah.
So that's really good. And the person who got it was actually in the department already. So
Well, that we think. We don't
Yeah.
really know. But yeah, they said that she just had more experience.
yeah,
That I did a really good interview. They just had more experience. And he told me not to be sad and just, keep looking for positions. So it is what it is. I still have a job, so it's not like it's the end of the
Yeah,
world.
totally.
I still got a paycheck. So
yeah, you're doing good.
yeah. But yeah, then my son gave me a panic attack yesterday. So it's not been a very fun week, but.
Yeah. If people couldn't understand, she said panic attack.
Oh, was I?
It sounded like
Sorry.
pancake.
Oh.
For a second.
I wish I had a pancake. That would have been nice. But yeah, so it wasn't the best week, but we are sitting here after finishing up my calculus, and then I have one more accounting exam, and then one more class, and I've graduated with an associate's in
Woo!
business.
And she got herself an A in calculus. Good job.
Yeah, so that's the bright side.
Yeah.
So yeah, now we have no worries about tests or anything right now. We're done. We're doing the podcast, and then we got this.
We're just fucking exhausted though.
Yep. But how's your week been? Since we just talked about my horrible week.
It's been okay. I've been sick, so it hasn't been fun. Luckily, Zane, it was funny. I was telling my coworkers, I was like, I really probably should have taken off work, but I work from home, so it wasn't as bad. But I was also like at the tail end of a project, so I was like, I'm not too worried about like. I knew I wouldn't have a ton to do, and it's kind of the end, what we call a sprint. So it's like it's just kind of the tail end of like a project activities, and there wasn't a lot for me to do. So I was like, I knew I could kind of fuck around, not like it wouldn't be a big deal. So I didn't take any sick time. But that Wednesday when my temperature spiked, I was in the meeting, and my boss was like, "Oh, here's a recipe for what did you call it? Homemade penicillin." But it was like a bunch of citrus fruits.
Onions.
Honey and onions, and I think a garlic and cayenne pepper and some other shit. It was just some like, what do they call it? It was some witch's brew, I don't know. But my other coworker who had taken the recipe and made it, he was like, "Oh, you need to try it." And when I was saying I was going to miss the afternoon on Wednesday, they were like, "Oh, did you make that penicillin?" I was like, Zane and I both have the flu. I don't want to go to the house, so no.
Yeah.
But yeah, and my doctor said she didn't know what it was. The urgent care people gave me a penicillin or antibiotics, Tamiflu, and Zyrtec. So I've just been drugged up.
Nope.
Oh, I'm fucking tired all week long. I'm like, God, I don't want to do anything.
That's the worst part of that is the body aches and the tiredness.
Yeah.
I like coughing at night. That I don't like. I don't sleep well when I'm sick, so
yeah,
that's not fun because I didn't get good sleep. I tried. Like napping, watching a show that I've already seen, like, maybe it'll help put me to sleep. Nope.
Yeah, well. No. But we did, Jennifer came over early this morning, so we could.
So early this morning.
At about 8:45, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. To cheer on our friend Griffin. He ran the Rocket City Marathon, I think it was. The 15-mile marker was just outside of our neighborhood. Doxing myself on this podcast. People are going to be able to Google, figure out where we're at. Anyway. So he ran it, and we walked down to the race route, and we're sitting there and wait because he had dropped off some bottle of I don't know what it was, like Gatorade or something like that for replenishment because he needed it at the 15-mile mark.
Right.
But it was so funny because as we're sitting there, Jennifer had come in. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm late. The street was all blocked off, and she had to figure out a way to get in." So she had pulled up on Jordan and taken a church back in her neighborhood. We're not technically supposed to go through there, but I think everybody in the neighborhood does it. So she was a little bit later than she thought she would be, and we're sitting out on the race route, and this woman pulls up on the far side of the race route where they still have the street open, and she was like, "How do I get to the church up on Jordan?" And Jennifer was like, "Oh, you have to turn around and take the light." And she's like, "It's blocked." And you just wait, they'll open it up. And the lady started screaming. She's like, "This is ridiculous."
Yeah. Well, she was. So I was like, "You just gotta go up to the light, take a left, and then take a left into the church." I know where my church is. I was, oh shit. Okay. Well, you're gonna be a Karen this morning. Okay. And then she just started screaming at us that it's ridiculous and kind of peeled off. And I'm like, fuck, okay. It's like, well, God bless you. You need some Jesus or something. Go to church, go.
Yeah. As she took off and then turned back around and drove past us, and I flicked her off because I was like, fuck you.
Yeah. That's not what you want to hear. I mean, let these people run. It ain't that much of an inconvenience. If you just would have went forward instead of turning down the street she turned down, she would have been at the church.
Yeah. Well, not only that, it's like, why is she yelling at us?
Right.
Well, she must have thought we were race officials or something. But I was like, we're literally just sitting in fucking folding chairs on the side of the road. Right. I don't know what she thought.
I don't either.
And then, after that crazy bitch left, someone they had blocked off the exit road to our neighborhood with
barricades.
Barricades, thank you. And some little truck was trying to squeeze by them, and Jennifer was the farthest to the left, and she looked like, oh, you can't come out this way, and he turned around, or she turned around, you said, and then
peeled out, smelt the burning rubber.
Oh man, I've certainly seen people peel out before, but I've never smelled the rubber like that before. Oh, I was coughing. I was like, damn.
Yeah, it was. I'm like, it's 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning. What the hell, people? Come on now.
Well, I was amazed too, because what she would have done was pulled out into the race route.
Yeah.
Straight into, she would have probably just waited for the runners to get out of the way, and I was like, and she would have been going the wrong way because the eastbound traffic on Holmes was closed, and only the westbound towards.
I don't think so.
I don't think there was enough room. The lady
that yelled at us was in the turning lane.
Oh yeah, she was.
She was in the turning lane, so they just used the turning lane as one way, and then
you're right.
The other way for the other. But still, you see barricades, just turn around, figure it out, go to the church. Good Lord, there's so many ways out of this neighborhood. You do not need to do bad things. And the funny thing is they did that at that Popo's house. Yeah. Because there's a Popo that parks there all the time, and I see him out with his kids, and I'm like, damn it, if only the Popo had been there.
Because they were Popo, just down the street at Holmes and Jordan, and I was like, oh, I wish I'd been here.
Yeah.
But it was fun to see all the runners.
It was, and we were saying, good job, and you got this, and they were thanking us, and I made sure that, I asked you, because I don't race like this, and I just do a 5K, and that was a walk, because I'm old. And you were like, well, when you did it, your half marathon, you were like, you liked it when people did it. And I was like, okay, well, if we make some people happy, that's great. And then I pretended that I had the baton in a race so that Griffin would have to run up and get it, but it didn't work that way. But I gave him his water or his drink, and then took his other drink out of his hand. And then so we're like, okay, well, we're done. And then we start walking back to the car, and this older dude just is running. He's like, what about me?
And we're like, great job. You're doing great.
And he was like, y'all have a good day. We're like, you too. So all the good stuff definitely outweighed the Karen and the truck. But it just was, I just didn't understand. I don't understand why you got so fucking mad.
That was so funny. I wasn't irritated at all, but I was like, why are you yelling at us?
Yeah.
What the fuck are we doing? We're just bystanders.
Right. We're just waiting on our friend.
Yeah.
Trying to give him some encouragement halfway through a 26-mile race. A little over halfway through.
And it was like, your church will forgive you. Oh, God. If they're good Christians, they will.
Yeah, well, they should teach her a little bit about being a good Christian, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
But anyways.
Troublemaker just walked in the room.
Yep.
Mr. Milo, so you may hear some pitter-patter and meows and conversations.
Or he's just going to stick his head in my shoes. But yeah, so that was fun today.
Yeah. And then we went we went and had breakfast at a somewhat new place called Maple Street Biscuit Company, I think, out in Madison. And then we went grocery shopping, the earliest we've ever been, at 11 in the morning. Yep. Normally go like anywhere from noon to 3. Mm-hmm. But it was productive. It wasn't busy.
Doing the podcast.
Mm-hmm. We did a test.
Mm-hmm. Just doing everything.
Killing it.
Yep. And on that note, What we drinking on today?
We are drinking on some. Well, we were trying to figure out what to drink, and I found a TikTok that I think we're going to try eventually. They called it. This person said that they had heard that Hooter Sangria is nothing more than Mountain Dew and red wine. So Jennifer and I we had this. We still have some goddamn leftover Costco wine. We drank a ton of it at the Christmas party last weekend. Yeah. We still had like 3 bottles. I was like, you want to try it real quick? Because someone had brought a Mountain Dew.
A 2 liter.
A 2 liter to the party. So we split it, and it turned out fine. It tastes pretty good. It was nothing special, but it wasn't bad.
It made the wine better.
Yeah, because the wine's not great.
Yeah.
But I was like, we were drinking. I was like, oh, it'd be good. It was like throwing some fresh fruit, and maybe some like Everclear vodka to bump up the alcohol content. It's be real good. Yeah. So not probably this podcast, but next one we'll drink that.
When we talk about Christmas, we can be lit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we
like a Christmas tree.
Yeah. This one, we were trying to figure it out, and I was like, what about Bailey's? She's like, I don't think that, because at the party we got out our bottle of Bailey's, and it was like 2 years old and crusty, and like our friends were like, I don't think you should drink this.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh no, Zane got a fresh one at the Dirty Santa, even though he doesn't like Bailey's that much.
Yeah. He was trying to get you to do something so that he could. I don't remember what it was, but. Well, I had originally said hot toddy because, we're not feeling that great. Mm-hmm. Whiskey's always nice, but a warm, drink to make the throat feel better, And then you were like, well, how about Bailey's? And that's when I said that because I was like, I don't want no nasty Bailey's.
So we're making hot coffee and Bailey's, and it's delightful.
It's very yummy, and it's really warm, and it's making me feel all warm inside.
I'm glad I took my jacket off before we did this, because I took it off and I was like, I'm cold all of a sudden, because I was wearing the jacket. I'm like, I'm hot, and I was like, we take it off. I'm like, I'm kind of cold, and I was like, I bet if I have this coffee, it's gonna warm me up.
Yeah,
I'm nice and toasty.
Yeah, it is yummy.
Yes. Oh, I don't know if we talked about it. I don't think we've done a podcast since we did the Galaxy of Lights. Have we?
I don't know. I don't think
I know. So, like, for our non-Huntsville listeners, we have a walking trail of lights at the botanical gardens you can do called the Galaxy of Lights. And what made me think of that was we had, they always have spirited coffee or spirited cocoa.
Yeah.
Where you can get coffee or hot cocoa with Bailey's or Kahlua. So I was like, oh, this reminds me of the Galaxy of Lights. And we do that every year with our friend Crystal and Jason. Crystal was on the podcast our first season. Mm-hmm. And this will be our last year because they're moving to California.
Unless they visit or we visit them.
Yeah. Well, you know what we'll have to do for season 4? I bet they'll still be here, so we'll get Crystal out again for season 4.
Okay.
Because I think, she was season 1. Stop scratching the couch. Sorry, the cat just started clawing at the couch randomly. But yeah, we'll have to get her out again. Stop, cat. Sorry if the microphone keeps making an awful sound. The cat's just like clawing at my couch as we're talking.
And then I'm snapping.
Yeah.
Like near the I'm trying not to do near the microphone, but it's
whatever.
Right in my face.
Frankly, I think I've heard so many people talk about they hate hearing people eat on the on podcasts, but I think we do a good job. I don't like chewing in front of the microphone.
I think so.
Yeah. Whenever we turn this into a video podcast, you'll see us like covering our faces with pillows, so it's not.
Well, that's you. I just turn my head, or I sit kind of far away.
Well, now that we're nice and toasty, I'm feeling a little bit better. What are we talking about, Miss Jennifer?
We were talking about teachers.
Yeah, we're like struggling to think of shit to talk about nowadays, but
yep. But yeah, that's our topic discussion today. Teachers.
Wesley has been at Blossomwood for 4 years? No, 3 years now.
3 years.
3 years. And Clea's...
No? 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 4 years.
4 years, okay. And Clea's been there 2 years. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she did kindergarten and 1st and 2nd at Sunny Hereford. And then, she did the last 2 years at Blossomwood.
Yeah.
And I think almost not 4th grade, because the 4th grade teachers from last year all quit.
Yeah.
In mass.
Yeah, I really wanted her to get Miss Taylor because I liked her for West.
I remember you telling me about Taylor.
Yeah, she was super sweet, and she was like new and young, and she was just really good. But yeah, they all just went bye-bye. And then
I wonder what the drama was there.
I have no idea. But yeah. But I think she likes her teacher pretty much.
Yeah. She has 3 teachers because, hold on.
She does gate,
Yeah,
which is a gifted something.
Gifted and talented.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the E stands
I don't
for.
either, but
Education.
she's just smart.
I don't know what the word is. I don't want to say gaslighting, but you know how when you always build up kids, you're like,
You're so smart.
well, not just
You
that.
can do it.
Or
You're the best at basketball.
Yeah, you tell kids constantly that they're nice or they're like really good at one particular thing, and then you tell everybody around, and they kind of like develop that. So I have gotten in the habit of telling everybody she's a really hard worker, and I'm like always praising her for her hard work because I'm like, smart is one thing, but dedication and hard work is a big
Something
thing.
else. Yeah, definitely.
And she's got the smarts already, but it's just the hard work. So, but she, Alexander and Ferguson, I think, are her teachers. And I haven't heard any bad. She's gotten in trouble once, and her teachers are pretty communicative with me. I'm frankly the one who drops the ball half the time.
Yeah.
Because they'll like, they messaged me one time like, "Oh, Clea had an accident because of her menstrual cycle," and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll bring some clothes," and then I got pulled into a meeting and just slipped my mind.
And then you did that with her laptop too. She left it at the house.
Oh no, that's what I was thinking of, was the laptop. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So thankfully they're forgiving. I hate to say it, but I'm even though I'm kind of half-assing it, I'm sure there are people who are like 10 times worse.
Oh yeah.
Who don't give a fuck.
Yeah, 10 times better, 10 times worse. There's a range of how parents are when it comes to schooling.
What about your Wesley's teachers?
I've pretty much liked all of them.
Who were his teachers this year?
This year he has Miss Starr as his homeroom teacher. So he's in 6th grade in a K through 6 school. So he has band and homeroom, and he switches classes kind of like the middle schools do.
Okay.
So he has multiple teachers throughout the day. And when we did his IEP meeting, which is an individualized education plan, I think I said that right.
Yeah.
I got to meet his math teacher, and then his homeroom teacher, and his history teacher was there. His IEP teacher was there. This is the second IEP teacher that he's had at Blossomwood, and I've liked them both. They're really on it. They really try. His homeroom teacher really tries. They know him, and they think that he is the sweetest, but they understand that he doesn't focus. And so they work with, trying to get that done. And trying to get him to stop talking to friends and pay attention to work and, things like that. So I've not had any problems with teachers at Blossomwood. And I don't think I did at Martin Luther King Jr. either. It was just the bus ride that I didn't want, him to be there. Yeah. But I've liked all his teachers pretty much. I'm worried about middle school because that'll be next year. He'll only have to do it for two grades, but I just
have faith. He seems to do better around other people besides you.
Well, that's true. Yeah. But it's just because I've heard some stories about the Huntsville Middle or Junior, and so I don't know if he'll be a good one in that one or if he'll be one of the horror stories. I'm just trying to. So Milo decided to jump up to smell my coffee.
He'll drink it too. Careful. He is drinking it.
Well, he's licking the side of it.
He likes to lick my coffee when I drink it.
Okay, that's enough. Thank you.
It's not for kitties.
Well, yeah, I just don't want to put it and actually get any. The cookies are not for you either, bud.
That's why I was pointing. I was like, I want to get them off your nightstand.
Sorry, listeners. He just decided to.
He might push that plate off too. Careful. He's been waking us up in the middle of the night, shoving shit off my dresser in the middle of the night. And I'm like, God damn it, Milo.
Okay. I think we got everything. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I've liked all his teachers, and but we'll just see how he does in middle school. But I'm planning on making him do a lot of sports.
Yeah.
So he can be busy and not get into trouble. because I plan on that in middle school and in high school, just to make them be tired and wore out, and then sports will make him try to get good grades, because you can't play if you got bad grades, and so it'll be I feel like a good overall thing for him to be in sports.
Oh, hold on, I got a cough.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Something went down the wrong throat.
I'm surprised that was the first time you did. I did a couple times already, but...
Well, it was the thing I'm snacking on, just kind of tickled the back of my throat.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I've for the most part been super happy with Clea's teachers. That I was sad that in the middle of when COVID started, she was in second grade. Right? Second grade, and she was at Sunny Hereford. And she had this, she just like, I can't remember her name for the life of me, but that doesn't mean much. But she looked like a teacher who was sweet and warm, had been there 100 years. Just one of those great teachers, a ton of experience.
Right.
And then when COVID hit, she had to switch to online, and she was like, I could just tell, she's like, I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with it. And, so she struggled, and she ended up quitting as soon as they went fully virtual, probably a week or two into it. So
that sucks.
And I miss her. But then I don't remember the teacher she had for the rest of second grade. But I do remember, I think it was Miss Shoop from first grade, who Clea had. She kept having behavioral problems, but I think a lot of it was, she just couldn't control her emotions. It's a real problem with emotional control. So I would constantly get phone calls from the teacher like, "Oh, Clea just can't calm down," and she'd have to put Clea on the phone. I was like, "Baby, you gotta breathe and calm down." And half the time, you just want to tell the teacher, just slap the shit out of her.
Teacher can't do that.
I know. Just take your ruler and slap her.
That's funny.
Oh my God. Speaking of slapping people with stuff, I don't think y'all ever had it with the Hot Wheels tracks. You know what I'm talking about? Hot Wheels? The little miniature cars? The tracks you can race them on?
Yeah.
You never had them, right?
Yeah.
Did your mom didn't spank you?
No.
Your dad ever spank you?
My mom threatened him.
Okay.
Threatened his life that if he touched me, he did. So.
Okay.
Yep.
I was watching a TikTok clip of Miss Pat, and she has her own podcast, and her producer is this little white guy. Not little, he's a kind of a big, thick-set ginger. And he was like, "Oh, Miss Pat said she's going to show me what it feels like to be hit upside the backside with a Hot Wheels track." And Miss Pat's like, "You've never been to, your parents never did this?" And he's like, "No." Yeah. And she had a Hot Wheels track, and I was like, "Oh, she's gonna pop in the butt." She got him right in the kidney.
Ooh.
I was like, "Oh, goddamn, that had to sting."
Just a little bit, yeah.
Speaking of spank, when you were growing up, did your schools ever have paddling or spankings?
Not that I know of, elementary, middle. Our high school did. It was either we're going to call your parents or you can get paddled.
Okay.
And I think the principal would paddle. Maybe the assistant principal. I can't. It's been a long time, so.
They still have corporal punishment here in Alabama, but I think you have to agree to it as a parent. I don't know. I'm kind of I feel like I've got good enough control over Clea. Not control, but I can get her to reason.
Right.
That I don't think the spanking would do much.
Yeah. And all you have to do with her is just threaten to tell
her
mama or her uncle, and and she's like, "Oh, dude, no, I'm good, I won't do it." And then she's scared of me too, so I can just talk to her, and she'd be like, "No, I won't do it, no."
True.
So you got 3 people you threaten her with.
I mean, ultimately, as scary as I think she thinks y'all are, I'm probably the more scary, because I will, I've made her cry on many occasions.
Oh, yeah.
And gotten probably a little too rough with her. Not really hitting her, but I'll grab her too hard, or I'll push her up against a wall, and it's I probably gotten a little too physical. But I think
in the moment.
Yep. God damn, it's hard to keep your temper sometimes.
Push her through the wall, Have a Clea-sized hole in the wall.
Yeah, she didn't need to breathe. That's okay.
Can't make me laugh. It's hard.
Do you remember any of your teachers growing up?
Yeah.
From elementary school?
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing with your memory. And so I remember some of their faces if I see pictures of them, but I could not tell you a single name from elementary school.
Apparently, it's part of ADHD.
Really?
Well, I don't really know if this is true or not. This is TikTok, so I saw a TikTok that was like, can you listen to this? Like, and it was the.
I think I sent that to you.
It was car directions, and it was in the beat to a Busta Rhymes song, and I was like, yeah, I understand all that. And then at the end of it, it was like, you can understand all the words of this song, and then you can remember shit that you shouldn't be remembering, but you can't remember what you did or what you came in the room for, something like that.
Yeah.
That I think it was 3rd grade, Miss Bonilla. She was mean. I didn't like her. In 5th grade, when we moved back to the States, so it was just like half of 5th grade, Miss Sharples. She was my favorite teacher. She was German, and I did not get any points with the kids, but I got massive points with her. I was her teacher's pet. I sat next to her facing the kids.
Oh, yeah.
And we would talk German because the American schools in Germany were way ahead of the elementary schools in the United States. So, in 5th grade in Germany, I already had a locker, was going to every other class. Mm-hmm. I was in, it was like a middle school.
Yeah.
And when I got back here, it's like, 5th grade, you moved maybe 2 times. And it's like, what the hell? You still have recess and PE. And you're like, what the fuck, Where's my locker? Where'd I put all my shit, So I loved her, though. She was awesome. And then middle school, I remember our the wood shop teacher. Mm-hmm. It was Mr. Threet. So kind of like Threat. And he would bang a hammer to get our attention. And I mean, really fucking loud. But I had fun in his class because I liked working with the saws and the smell of the wood and making a birdhouse and all that. I liked it a lot better than home ec because we had to do one half a year home ec and half a year with wood shop, and I liked it a lot better than home ec.
See, I wish I had stayed in public school sometimes because I did, I remember doing wood shop in junior high, but we didn't have, when I went to private school, we didn't have that. So we didn't have a ton of electives to choose from, but I did band. And frankly, there's only 2 teachers I really can remember their names and their faces from even high school was, I guess 3, but there was Mr. and Mrs. Stallings. They both taught, one taught, I don't remember what they taught. One taught history, I think. And then, a lot of them taught religion. So I took religion from both of them. But I remember I took Mrs. Stallings in my senior year, and that was the year I came out. And it was interesting because we did, I don't remember the class, but we were discussing modern day sins or some shit like that. And divorce was one of them and homosexuality. And the moment she's like, okay, we're going to talk about homosexuality. Everybody in the class looked at me. And I'm like, fuck y'all. Half your parents are divorced. So you're all right. I was like, let's not get technical here, people.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like the lady this morning.
Yeah. Oh, you have a little visitor right behind you.
Hi, baby. Meerkat.
Milo just popped up behind Jennifer.
He wants my cookies now. But, I remember a lot more teachers in, middle school. I don't remember my band teacher's name, but I did not like him because he said that girls, so I wanted to play drums. That was the whole thing. I wanted to play the 4 set of drums because during pep rallies, that was the music it makes just... Wow, I really wanted to do that. And then he said girls can't play drums. And then I'm like, oh, okay.
Does he not know Sheila E?
Yeah, I guess not. And then I was like, okay, well, I'll play the saxophone like Lisa Simpson.
Yeah.
Nope, you can play the flute or the clarinet. And I'm like, fuck, I don't want to play either one of those. There's really girly, instruments. I don't want to play those.
Comment about that. Okay. Have I told you that?
I don't know.
Or you finished your statement.
So I was just like, I don't really want to play that. But it was too late to sign up for choir. And I don't feel like I have a good enough voice for choir, so I was very, not threatened, but like shy to go to choir. And so I was like, fuck, I'll play the clarinet. Maybe one day I'll learn how to play the bass clarinet. Like, I was trying to think of something cool with a clarinet. So I don't remember his name, but I had to do 3 years with him, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and I hated it.
That stinks.
Yeah.
Well, what I was
Comment you got on my clarinet.
Well, so when I went to middle school, we had band also, and I don't remember the teacher's name. I think it was a woman, but in our band hall at least, it was like the flutes were the first. They were like right up in front of the teacher.
Right.
Then it was the clarinets.
Yep.
Then the saxophones.
And the trumpets next to the saxophones.
Either that or behind, and then behind that was percussions. And I really wanted to play the flute, but I was just like, I could see that there was just nothing but girls in there. And I was like, oh, people know I'm gay. I can't play the flute. So I went one back into the clarinet.
That's funny. And my brother Patrick did clarinet, and he was awesome at it. Wesley's doing clarinet. That's what he picked.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was first chair a lot of the time when I did it.
I mean, I won some medals at
Good for you.
whatever the little competition things were.
Yeah.
But I didn't really like it, so I didn't try that hard. I think I got first chair, but it wasn't. I might have been just somewhat good, and then just never really tried too hard. You know?
No, I like when we were just regular band, I loved it. And then I went, I think it was like, I went from 6th grade to 7th, and they were like, oh, you're going to go to a marching band. And I did not want to do, I wanted to do orchestra.
Yeah.
But I was too scared to say anything, so I just dropped out. So, but
That's sad.
Yeah. But when I went to, I don't Jennifer, I heard chuckling because the cat is just being a little spider monkey and climbing up the windowsills.
Yep.
But when I went to private school, we didn't have a band, so I joined the choir, and I did that almost my entire 5.5 years I was there. So, yeah, but that was fun. I think her name was Mrs. Funk. If I remember.
That's a good name for her. She got the funk.
I think that was her name. I could be wrong on that. Anyway, I remember her though, and the theater teacher. But remind me someday if we ever talk about theater, because you and I are both high school theater nerds. So
definitely.
I'll have a good story to tell about that.
So I remember more high school teachers. Because I remember my theater teacher, because she was a student teacher, so she started really young. Or, like right when she graduated, she came to Butler because she went to Butler, if I remember correctly. And so Mr. Chappell was our theater teacher. He was also my English teacher. And then Miss Pugh, she was student teaching with Mr. Chappell. So I had her as a student teacher. And then later on, I think it was June. Whoops.
And there goes the cat.
Yeah, junior or senior year, she became the theater teacher. And then I was her teacher's aide. And, I loved her. I still see her out and about now. And I have very good memories of Miss Pugh.
I was about to say, if she was a student teacher and then became a teacher, she was probably 5 years, 6 years older than you.
She wasn't that much older than us. I remember when she was dating her now husband, we would go to her house after theater practice and eat Chinese food, I think. Or it could have been we were eating Chinese food in the theater room. I don't remember, but I remember we would all kind of hang out. And it was fun.
Yeah.
I really liked this. Hell, I loved her. I will say I loved her.
I was about to say, she's a
Great.
peer, basically, at this point because of our ages. But
when we went to the Pride Parade, she's with the Cotton Candies. I don't know if you've heard of them. They wear pink. But they were in the parade, and she saw me, and then, she came over, gave me a hug. And Wesley was like, who was that? I was like, oh, that was my theater teacher. I love her. And so he was like, oh, was my mama good in school? And she was like, yeah, she was. I was like, yeah, I was. Just for you, though.
Oh, please. You were an angel, I think, in high school.
Sure I was. Except for my German teacher. He didn't like me. I don't remember his name. But Coach Bellis, he was our government teacher. And anyone that went to Butler that had him remembers him. So he taught government. And so you had 1 semester of government, or half a year of government, half a year of like American history or Alabama history, some bullshit. And you always wanted Coach Bellis the first semester because if you failed, you had another semester to take his class. And a lot of people failed.
Was he tough?
Yes. Well, the thing is that he was trying to get people ready for college.
Yeah, you told me that
before.
before.
No other teacher was trying to get us ready for college. So we had to write lots and lots of like essays and remember definitions, and like he actually put us to work, and I mean, I want to say I got a B in his class, and I was stoked to get the B. You know, I was but he really he cared and he tried, but no one ever gave him any love just because he was so hard. But if all the teachers had been that way, he wouldn't be that hard. Yeah, you know. But yeah, so I that's most of the ones that I remember. Miss Pugh definitely, because I love her. I mean, that's not her name anymore because she got married. But I'm just gonna I always keep calling her Miss Pugh because that was how I, remember her. And I won't call her by her first name because I feel like that's disrespectful to my teacher because she still feels like my teacher. And I'm 42 years old. I've been out of high school forever now.
Even though you were probably closer in age to her than you are to Griffin, one of our good friends.
Oh, yeah. And I would not call him Mr. Griffin.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
Are anybody in your family a teacher?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
I actually come from a kind of a long line of teachers on both sides.
Really?
Because Dad's dad was a principal. My granddad was a principal at Cason High School. And it was funny because apparently my dad always says this, that at the time when he graduated high school, if you were salutatorian or valedictorian of your high school, you got automatic entrance to University of Texas. And yeah. And Dad, being the son of the principal, was valedictorian, and so was my Aunt Nancy. So they both automatic entrance to University of Texas.
Well, there you go. That's nice.
But my dad's eldest sister was a teacher, speech pathologist. Who else was a teacher? My mom was a teacher of math. And my grandmother was a teacher, and I think a few of my my great aunts and uncles are teachers. So
wow,
a lot of teachers.
A teacher?
Yeah, I've lectured before.
And you've taught me.
Yeah.
I mean, even though you didn't get paid for that,
no.
I paid you with hugs and kisses.
Yes, and your friendship.
But yeah, you taught computer science at UH. Is that right? Or computer?
No, UH. No, it was. I'm sorry. At University of Alabama Huntsville, I've taught at the business department, both programming for business majors and statistics.
Yeah.
So that because my master's is in statistics, and I've taught that.
I hated statistics. I don't know how you went to school so much more for that shit. Ugh. I just don't like math. Hi.
The kitten is
got attacked by a cat.
He is on a roll today. Very
much so. He must have gotten that catnip.
But it's funny though, because talking about teaching, I think I'm not bad. I don't think I'm great, but I think I'm not bad at it. And I like tutoring. I do it quite frequently, and I get repeat business when I do it.
Yeah.
But oh my God, when it comes to tutoring Kalia, I just want to scream at her.
It's different. It was different.
Yeah, it's like, why aren't you getting this? It's so fucking obvious.
Yeah.
So like she had to come home with some like multiplication of multiple digit, 200 times 45, something like that. And I was like, I know the method I learned, but it was like I'm scared to. And like I was looking at the notebook that she was working on, and I was like, this is different than I learned.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm scared to teach her the algorithm methods the way that you and I learned growing up. So I was like, you better ask your teacher, Kalia, because if I don't. But then Kalia came home and it's like, oh, my teacher said you can teach us however you want. I'm like, okay. But it's like, if I do, there's a whole lot of like background I have to kind of back up and like, okay, do you understand this?
Yeah.
So, but I for at least for her math, I'm gonna start. I think I'm gonna enroll her in some math gymnasium. Mathnasium, yeah. Like, what is it called? It's tutoring, but it's like intervention. That's what it is. Like to get her, I think, higher up in her grade level than because she last report card she got an 80, and I was like, that's not bad, but I don't know. I can tell she still struggles with like just general like 1-digit multiplication. So I was like, I want her to strengthen that up a bit. And I don't feel like I'm a good tutor for her, and Zane can't tutor at all. So,
and I don't do math.
Yeah.
If it was something else, I would do it for her, but
yeah,
I don't do math.
And
I don't like math.
Yeah, it's weird. I actually did better with Wesley than IKEA, but he is like
so behind.
He's so behind. And like if Kalia struggles with it, he is like 2 years behind her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh. So, yeah.
But, I mean, and that's just because...
Yeah, it's just different.
No one taught him anything.
Neglect.
We've had her since...
Yeah.
Kindergarten, right?
Yeah.
And I got him in 2nd grade, and he didn't know how to read. Barely knew his ABCs. So, I mean, he's at a good place for him.
Yeah.
He's not in 6th grade. That's definitely the truth. But... his IEP teacher, his teachers, they really work with him to try to get him to focus and stay on task.
And it seems like he's making progress.
He is.
Yeah, he's definitely got his reading levels are up, and he seems to be doing a little bit better in math. So like, there's progress.
Yeah,
it's definitely not up to where he probably should be for his age, but he's also been neglected a lot worse than a lot of other kids his age. So
that is very, very true. So he is. I'm very glad I didn't have to do anything with was it Common Core math?
Yeah.
Like. That, I'm like, there's no way I would want to teach them the way that I learned, that I know, not boxes. I was like, that just seems like that's way more work than taking your fingers and adding on your fingers.
Yeah. I mean, I understand the concept, and the idea is to kind of understand how numbers work and, different methods to working with them. And I get the idea, but it's like, if you're only trained in one method, it's hard to, I don't know how to teach that without fucking them up.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I remember having to tutor Matt and John in it, at Common Core, and it was a bit of a challenge. Luckily, when they got into high school, it was just like, okay, this is just algebra. It's like,
right.
So when she gets into high school, I think I'll be able to be a better tutor because it's exactly how I learned it. Right. So the rules, it's kind of algorithmic too.
I got you. I just told that.
But you've been doing great in your calculus class.
I sure have, because I have a great teacher, Jason Minter.
Well, I do my best.
Am I allowed to say your last name?
What?
Am I allowed to say your last name?
Yeah, okay. It's on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you pull it up.
We've never said each other's last names, so it's like, did I kind of do that?
Well, I hope so, because it's both our first and last names are in the MP3 file if people download it. So.
Oh shit.
Well, actually, we'll talk about that at the end, but yeah. I think this is a pretty good segue. What do you think?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So for all our 11 listeners.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. If you have any funny stories about your kids.
Or if you need some bad parenting advice, or if you have any ideas for topics for us.
Join us. Jesus Christ. Sorry. Yeah. Email us at guidetopoorparenting@gmail.com. Please. What are we having for snack time?
I'm not doing
You're going to ask me. That's right.
You're going to do snack time because I don't want to try to butcher it.
So the day after Thanksgiving, Zane and I and Kalia went up to St. Louis to go see my cousin and her family. And while we were there, we kind of we're killing a little time, and they live really close to the IKEA in St. Louis.
Right.
So I was like, oh, we can, Kalia broke, we have a big clock in our living room, and Kalia, I guess, banged the wall and it fell off and shattered. So I was like, okay, well, it was from IKEA, so let's go replace it. And while we were there, I was like, oh, wow, let's see what snacks they have. And they had some chocolates. And let's see if I can pronounce it. It's called Belonings, I think?
Sure.
Belo with an umlaut.
Yeah.
So Belonings, I think is how you pronounce it. That's at least what Google Translate. But it kind of reminds me of a Snickers, but with a bit of almond.
It was just caramel and almonds and chocolate. It was very yummy, and I ate it very quickly.
Yeah, it was good.
I had to eat a cookie because I ate that so fast. And Mr. Milo tried to eat my cookie.
That's right, and drink your coffee.
Yeah.
Well, now that we've had our drink, we have our snack. What's
You get to do story time.
Oh, I do get to story time.
It's your story in your house about my son.
Well, you have a funny one about my granddaughter next time, hopefully. So we, like I said earlier, we had our Christmas party last weekend, or the first weekend of December, and last few months, Justin had moved. He had bought a TV for his room, and he moved the old TV into the back bedroom, which shares a wall with me and Zane's bedroom. Mm-hmm. And to be nice, he moved my PS4 to the back bedroom, so Wesley could play on the PS4 in the mornings. Because usually when you drop him off in the morning, Clea's already up on the television,
right? And
so he's bored. So he's been going to the back,
yeah.
And so it's like fine, it's whatever. And some, like, I guess when we're just hanging out, he'll just go back there and play too. Yeah. And then, so at the party, when we're getting ready for, Zane and I were getting ready for the party, I started cleaning because I was like, I wanted to be able to, if they needed to take a nap or rest or something in the back, I wanted to be able to then go back there. So he had kind of like moved the sheets off. He had made a mess of the sheets and the comforter. So I went back there and I started moving stuff around. And the comforter was like off the bed in between the wall and the space between the wall and the bed. And there was some candy wrappers in the bed. And I was like, son of a bitch, he's been stealing candy again. So I picked that up. And then I picked up a comforter, and there was probably like 4 popsicle wrappers and a bunch of candy, like Halloween candy wrappers. Talkie wrappers. Like, fuck, kid. I was like just dumping shit back there. So I picked that up, and I told Zane, I was like, hey, it was like, we got to restrict Wesley from getting back there. And I was like, would you replace or put the clean sheets on the bed? So Zane went, and we have the clean sheets in a little box under the nightstand in there, and he opened it, and Wesley had taken a Dr. Pepper, or Diet Dr. Pepper from the back fridge, drank half of it, put the bottle back into the box, but didn't seal it tight enough, and the liquid just kind of soaked into the white sheets. Ugh, he's such an asshole. And then, so I was like, fucking hell. So I was like, all right, well, you just lost the back bedroom, you little asshole. And then I was sitting there talking to Jennifer. I was like, I just realized those candy bar wrappers are Kalia's Halloween candy, and her Halloween candy bucket is in our bedroom. So he's been sneaking back into our bedroom to steal. Yep. So
he is now forbidden.
Yep. So I was
being in the back room.
It's like, goddamn, kid, you just do not learn.
Yeah. And if he would have just thrown the shit away, you would have never known.
Yeah. I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah. He's just not smart.
Yeah.
He's like, he lies all the time, but he's a bad liar. And he just does bad, but then doesn't follow through, like, to cover his tracks, I guess. I just,
Yeah. And, like, half the shit he steals, I would have just given it to him.
Right.
I was like, oh, yeah, you can have some candy. I don't care. Like, we had to move Kalia's candy bucket from the kitchen area because he stole it once then.
Right.
And we put it in our back bedroom.
Yep.
So I'm like, if you had just asked, I would have given you tons of candy, but...
Yep. And then I just don't keep it at my house.
Yeah.
If I have any candy in my house, it's locked up in my bedroom. I have to hide snacks.
Well, didn't you get a camera shot of him, like, stealing some candy or something? Yep.
Yep, in my bedroom. Because I just left the door open, forgot to close it and lock it. And he took a huge hand, like, naked, because he doesn't... Once he gets out the shower, he, like, leaves his towel in his bedroom. And then he just runs around the house naked. So I have to, like... I delete at least once a week all the videos because I don't want to be...
videotaping children.
Right, naked. Yeah. And it's just because he don't care. And he just grabbed a huge handful of the candies. And the thing is, I actually wouldn't mind either. But the thing is, he doesn't clean up after himself. And I don't want trash. Sorry, guys. I had to stop the cat from eating the pasta bag. I don't want trash and bugs. My thing is bugs.
Yeah.
I don't want bugs. Because it's hard to get rid of them. And I know too many people that got bugs and they can't get rid of them for a long time. So, yeah.
It kind of reminds me when John stayed with us for a little bit. And like we finally cleaned up. And it was just like shit everyone under his bed. And I was like, dude, I was doing you a huge favor.
Yeah.
I was like, God bless.
Yeah, he had chocolate stains on
On
the
the-
sheets too,
yeah.
didn't he? Because Wesley did too.
Oh, like the difference though, it was like Wesley's was like spots here and
Right.
there. John looked like he'd taken a chocolate chip cookie, ground it up, and then slept on it.
I got you.
But so
Still,
gross.
like the
Yeah.
ADHD, I guess. I don't know.
John just never.
Or they're just bad.
I don't know.
They're just assholes.
Unempathetic.
Yeah, that's very much so.
Oh God.
Okay.
Well, thanks again to all our 11 listeners for listening to another guide to a. Hold on, let me try that again. I'm so tired. Okay. To all our 11 listeners, thanks for listening to another episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting.
If you like our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening on.
And if you don't like our podcast, just like when our kids ask why they can't put our home address on a public chat room on Roblox.
Don't, and tough shit.
God damn
I'm
it,
not
kids.
telling you what it is.
Bye.
Bye.